Hi, y'all. Jennifer Leday here with quick tips for women who want to live and lead by choice, not by chance. Well, imagine walking around with spinach in your teeth during a big presentation. Ooh, that's basically what a blind spot is. Except instead of spinach, it's a behavior or habit that you can't see, but everybody else can. You know what I'm talking about. Spinach, man, you can fix that easily. Napkins and floss, you can take care of that with no problem. Blind spots, not so much, which is probably why you've heard me say a time or 10,000 that all leadership begins with self leadership, and self leadership begins with self awareness. The thing of it is, I bring this up in most of my presentations, and inevitably, I've got a ton of people raising their hands saying, yes, they have worked with someone who was not self-aware. And it's not no kind of fun. Nobody wants to work with somebody like that because translation, the fact is that when you don't know yourself, your blind spots are going to run the show. That's what it is. You know what I'm talking about when I say a blind spot. You've probably had this happen to you driving down the interstate, you go to change lanes, and you go, oh, wow, I didn't even see that guy. He must have been in my blind spots. Well, cars aren't the only ones that have them. People have them too. Some people have more than others, and you know who you are. Oh, wait, no, you probably don't, because by definition, a blind spot is something you're unaware of. Hello. So allow me to give you some opportunity for self-reflection so you can start to uncover those nasty little gremlins that we call blind spots. First, let me say that I think it's great to use self-assessments to identify your strengths and even your limitations. And I am all about it. I'm here for all of it, right? In fact, I've used DISC with my clients for going on 20 years, which is hard for me to believe. And for those who are unfamiliar, DISC is a behavioral assessment that helps us to understand our own preferred communication style, our own preferred behavioral style, and it helps us to understand others and be able to connect with others more effectively. So I'm all about that. And DISC and other self-assessments like them can be magical, but they can't save you from yourself when you overplay your hand. So what I'm talking about here is that the kicker is that it's often not our weaknesses that sabotage us. It's our actual strengths. It's our strengths when we crank them up too high. So too much of a good thing is not such a good thing. For example, if you're decisive, that's a great strength to have for sure, especially as a leader. But when you're too decisive, you can become impulsive. You can be collaborative, great strength on a team. We need that. When you're too collaborative, you can't make a decision to save your soul. If you're the person who's always dependable and supportive, guess what? You become people's doormat when you overuse that strength. If you're organized and methodical, overdone, that becomes perfectionism. And it's just any strength that you overuse or use inappropriately can become a limitation. So listen, what you can see, you can shift. What you ignore, you're bound to repeat. And what you repeat will likely become a blind spot. And blind spots are how we self sabotage. So that's where self awareness comes in. Okay. So here are a couple of questions you can ask yourself to say, where am I in this thing and how can I become more self aware? So ask yourself, which of my bests might be secretly turning into my worst? Question number two, when do people seem drained or frustrated after I've used this strength? So a lot of times your superpower might be coming across as too much, too strong, too much of a good thing. I know when I've overdone it because I'm more on the collaborative side of things. When people are starting to try to inch away from me, yeah, I know I need to land the plane. It's a problem. I'm aware of it. Now, number three, is this strength serving me or the situation? A lot of times, what's useful in one situation or in one set of circumstances is not going to be helpful in another. So we need to remember that one size fits all is not going to necessarily work. Listen, y'all, I'm not immune to this stuff. I've been there, got the t-shirt, shot glass, and scars to prove it. But like my mama said, when you're going through hell, keep going. Don't stay there. So I have invested in myself via coaching. I keep learning, I keep growing, and I keep trying to catch my blind spots before they run me over. Listen, I'd love to connect and hear what resonates with you. Simply go to jenniferleday.com. There you can connect with me to get my messages in your inbox, my videos, or connect with me on social media. Listen, y'all, I would love to hear from you. Let me know what's resonating. Let me know what you'd like to hear me talk about in upcoming videos. Until next time, y'all, remember to live and lead by choice, not by chance.